Hello, everyone, and welcome. Before we begin tonight, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on, and I'd like to pay my respects to traditional owners across Australia, past, present, and emerging. Good evening, everyone. My name is Peace Mitchell, and I am the Australian Ambassador for Women in Tech. I am also the Queensland Ambassador for Women's Entrepreneurship Day organisation. And today is Women's Entrepreneurship Day, the day that we celebrate women in entrepreneurship. I'm so excited to have you all here. Tonight, we're going to be hearing from 10 incredible female founders who are specializing in the tech field. And we are also joined by our amazing panelist investors. And I'd like to begin tonight by introducing you to each of them. Hello and welcome, Jackie Bloom. How are you?
On mute, but I'm very well. Thanks, Peace. Thanks for having me. It's an honour.
It's wonderful to have you here, Jackie. For those who haven't met you before, would you please tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. I am unexpectedly doing this. No, so bear with me, but thank you for having me. So my background is really as an entrepreneur over probably my lifetime, predominantly in business management and sales, but having done lots of different things across the board and a number of startups across the board. And the last 4 years, I've been in really entrenched in the startup ecosystem, predominantly building my networks and community in the space, and found, amazing tribes all around the startup space, which, Peace, yours is certainly testament to be one. But I'm now in the space of venture capital and angel investing for startups, and I'm with Zash Ventures and Shepreneur. So Shepreneur is all about investing into female founders and really bridging the gap of at the moment, only 2.8% of venture capital is deployed globally to female founders. And in my opinion, and in many others, that's really not okay. So I'm really focused now on getting Shepreneur up and running and off the ground, which will be officially launching. It is already available, but officially launching early 2022, and making a significant impact into investing into female founders. And my mantra is we can't do it alone, but we can certainly do it together. So, we welcome men to invest alongside of us into female founders because there are some incredible men out there who really do want to make a difference. And Peter is actually testament to that, and one of the wonderful men out there who does want to help make a difference. And Peter and I work alongside each other at Zash and Shepreneur. And Zash and Shepreneur is actually Peter's, I suppose, brainchild, and he's really put a lot of heart and soul into getting this off the ground, and I'm along for the journey. So watch this space. Really excited and very honoured to be here tonight. So thanks, Peace, for inviting me.
Oh, thank you. It's just so wonderful to have you here. And I can't wait to hear more about Shepreneur Ventures and the work that you're doing in funding female founders. It's very exciting to see that happening.
It is. Thank you.
We also have Lindy Chen here. Hello, Lindy.
Hi.
So Lindy, for people who haven't met you before, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Lindy Chen. I run a company called China Direct Sourcing. I'm the founder and the CEO, which has been for the past 20 years. And I'm a supply chain management consultant. Recently, I also started a startup, which is SaaS platform for this tech startup company. So far, we are on the final stage of raising accelerating commercialization grant of 600,000 from federal government. And also we have from the angel investor raised the 670K already. I think by the end of this month, we will close this round of 800,000. And from the startup ecosystem, I just love it. I think it's great. And I love, the investor like Jackie who support the she entrepreneur. Not only that, in my previous life, I mentored more than 800 entrepreneurs already. And I'm sitting on the federal government advisory board. And also I mentor many small and medium-sized business for their growth. And I'm the president of Sunnybank Chamber of Commerce for 4 years. I'm the president of Australian Blockchain Alliance for the new tech and about blockchain, about crypto. I'm sitting on the couple of board of other blockchain company as well. So yeah, it's very excited to be in this world. This morning, I went to what they call the women entrepreneur platform, had like nearly 150 people, all women, all startup, and sharing the journey, sharing the process. Very, very exciting. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Peace have invited me to be. Originally, I want to be Peach. I want to Peach tonight. And she said, no, Peace. Peace said, no, Lindy, you go to the panel. I said, fine, I will be the panelist. So anyhow, here I am. Welcome on the board.
Thank you so much, Lindy. And we are honored to have you here. You're a very experienced businesswoman, very experienced in the tech field as well. And we really value that experience and expertise and hope that you have some wonderful guidance and feedback for our founders tonight.
Thank you. I'm just one step ahead of them. That's all.
All right. I'd also like to now introduce Peter Terrell. Hello, Peter. It's wonderful to have you here.
Yeah, hi, Peace. Yeah, thank you for being here. And yeah, it's a great night, I suppose, for female entrepreneurs. And we as a firm, ZASH is a early stage venture capital firm, and we're very focused on supporting entrepreneurs because, as we say to people, that being an entrepreneur, you have to either be very brave or very crazy, because anyone in their sane mind wouldn't do this, because the amount of pressure you put yourself under to build businesses. But thankfully, you are all entrepreneurs and shaping the world, and that's as a company what we're out to do, whether male or female, doesn't really matter. It's we're all entrepreneurs. So just to give you a bit of an overview of us as a firm, we tend to work with anywhere from startups to scale-ups. We do check sizes of, say, 100K through to $2 million funding runways. We're very active in how we work with the companies that we invest in, because we're a great believer that if we can get them successful, then everybody succeeds, so the investors and the entrepreneurs themselves. We have quite an in-depth ventures advisory service that we offer to our clients as well. Plus also we have a venture studio as well, where we incubate ideas and build teams to then be able to launch those ideas as well. But yeah, thank you for the invite, Peace.
You're welcome, and it's fantastic having you here. We always love seeing male champions coming and supporting women in tech, and it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. All right, well, I think we should get this show on the road. Let's get started, and I'd like to begin by introducing our first speaker for tonight, Fiona Holmstrom of STEM Punks. Welcome, Fiona.
Thank you, Peace. Thanks for having me. Would you like me just to jump straight in?
Take it away.
Okay, I'm Fiona Holmstrom, the co-founder and director of STEM Punks. When I was 8, my brother was given a computer. I was told computers aren't for girls, Fiona. So when he wasn't around, I took that computer and I taught myself how to code and how to create games and solve challenges. My family immigrated to Australia when I was 6, and we couldn't afford university for me when I finished grade 12. So some 20 years later, under my own steam, I studied 2 degrees while running a startup with 3 children under 18 months. So I fully appreciate the value of quality education and what it can do for a girl. In 2017, STEM Punks was born with coding classes for local kids in my garage, and it's now become a global business with over 5,000 users of our online classes worldwide and engagement with over 150,000 students and teachers in the past 4 years. I used my early experience of not being given a computer because it was a boy thing to spur on my personal mission to ensure more girls enter STEM and don't suffer that same gender bias that I did. Now, STEM Punks was a face-to-face business, and then COVID forced us to transform to a more scalable online delivery model, which fueled our global growth. We've got current programs in Vietnam, Ghana, and the USA, to name a few. Now, our latest product, STEM Punks TV, fulfills our brand promise to provide world-leading STEM education and enable equity in education worldwide. STEM Punks TV is a subscription-based Netflix-style OTT platform. It's currently available on iOS, Android, and web, with future expansion planned to other platforms like Apple TV, Xbox One, and Amazon Fire TV. And with the release of STEM Punks TV comes two key challenges. One is the need for ongoing production of high-quality, relevant content for subscribers. And we've overcome this issue through a production process where we self-produce high-quality content at a really low cost. Our content strategy is supported by a previous Mythbusters producer, Mr. Brian Leckie, who's on our advisory board. The second challenge we have is marketing dollars to promote the platform across the world. STEM Punks TV is high volume, low cost business model, and to make it viable long term, we need capital from investors, partnerships with content creators, and global distribution channels. We're currently in negotiation with third-party content creators and distribution partners to reach a global audience and to minimise that need for high-cost marketing dollars. So my ask to the panel today is threefold. Firstly, I'm looking for new advisory board members to take STEM Punks TV to the next level. Secondly, I'm looking for distribution channel partners for the STEM Punks TV platform. And finally, capital investment in STEM Punks TV Pty Ltd. I encourage you all to imagine a world of educated children, especially girls, and then women who can change humanity. Please join the STEM Punks movement. Thank you for your time today.
Oh, congratulations, Fiona. It's incredible to see how far STEM Punks is. Okay, do we have a question from our panel?
I might jump in first. So what are you looking to raise in terms of capital, Fiona?
Yeah, Peter, great question. We're looking at $500,000.
Yep, so is that the first money that you're taking on board? Yep, so
Yes.
you're bootstrapped today?
Absolutely bootstrapped and wholly owned at this point.
Yep, okay. So what's your end game on this? What is it that you want to experience? Tell me 5 years' time, what are you looking at?
That's another great question. In 5 years' time, I want to see STEM Punks TV in every country of the world, with children being upskilled in STEM and having future job prospects covered, having skills that can take them to careers they've never even dreamed of, in jobs that haven't even been invented yet, simply by looking at our platform either on the web or on an app, and getting these critical future skills that kids need these days.
Yep, great. And what is it you personally want to experience on the journey?
I want to see the gender bias change, Peter. I want to see more girls being interested in STEM. I want to see girls not being afraid to get into jobs in tech or jobs in engineering, where previously, they weren't considering a job in that industry or that sector because of gender biases and prejudices or their socioeconomic status or their location. Gender shouldn't matter, and we need to open things like STEM education up to everyone to give them that equity and equality and that chance, that opportunity.
Yep. And have you done any work around about getting investment ready?
Yeah, we have. We've worked with a growth accelerator who is trying to get us up to that stage. So we're getting all of our ducks in a row, all of our policies under control, streamlining systems, getting everything ready, risk management, compliance, and all of that sort of thing.
Yep, great. I think I've used up all my questions, plus more.
Thanks.
I was actually going to say, come on, Peter, give us a turn. No, but that's because I can. Fiona, I would love to ask, what is your financial model? So how are you monetizing this?
Yep. So STEM Punks TV is a subscription based at $4.95 US per month or $6.95 Australian. With a 12-month subscription that people can either pay monthly or they can do a one-off payment.
So $4.95 monthly for 12 months, is that, $4.95, not
$4.95 per month to use the app.
So you really do need the high volume, right?
It's absolutely a high volume game. It's a bit different to what we're running at the moment. So a lot of the work we do now is with industry. So industry funds our programs that go into schools. So that's more of an opposite, whereas now the app is all about high volume.
Okay, and over the 12 months, what sort of costs are you looking at to manage the app and the content and creation?
Yeah, look, we're really lucky, Jackie, that we've got a studio at head office where we do all of our filming, all of our teachers self-produce the content. So there's not massive costs involved with production. We spoke to Brian Leckie from Mythbusters, and he said, he looked at our stuff objectively and said, what you guys are producing is over 80% of what we can do in a big Hollywood studio, he said, and you can do it within weeks, you can turn it around. So we've got that speed and that agility and that low cost. And that's what makes us unique. Is anyone else trying to produce TV shows, educational, entertaining TV shows for children, has months and months of deadline and lots of high costs. We don't have those high costs. So we keep all those costs down, and that gives us a big runway of content. We've already got a massive runway of content that we've been building on for the past few years, but we're just adding to it all the time.
Okay, congratulations and well done on your pitch. It was great.
Thank you so much, Jackie. I appreciate it.
Fiona, what's your current valuation, and is your platform ready? What's your current attraction?
Current what? Sorry, Lindy?
What's your valuation? And is your platform ready? What's your current attraction?
Yeah, so the platform is ready at STEM Punks at the moment. It's available now on iOS, Android, and web. Traction-wise, it's not been promoted yet because it's literally been around for a couple of days only. It is brand spanking new, but we are speaking with industry partners at the moment, and I can't name them, but they will be announced next week. We've got a long-term industry partner who's looking at a 10-year deal. And the STEM Punks TV platform will form a massive part, a fundamental part of that deal. So there's some great traction there. And then we've got another distribution channel that we're currently negotiating with that's looking at buying 100,000 licenses every quarter next year. So that's a big start for us. That's a really good way to kick this app off.
What's your valuation?
Evaluation?
The valuation of your company.
The company valuation.
We haven't been valued at this point, Lindy. That will come when we've got the app fully up and running, the platform.
But you said you want to raise 500,000?
Oh, I've got discounted cash flow figures somewhere. I don't have them on me, but I'm happy to get them through to you at some point. I've also got a prospectus that I can give you some more figures on, but I don't have them right here, and I don't know the valuation off the top of my head.
Okay, got it.
Thank you, Lindy, and thank you so much, Fiona, and congratulations on everything you've achieved.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Great,
Thanks
well
so
done.
much. All right, I'd now like to introduce our next presenter, Amy Rose Goody. Welcome, Amy.
Sorry, I just started and I was muted. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Amy Rose and I am the co-founder of Cortex. Our goal is to smash through the barriers to neurofeedback therapy, particularly for those with autism and ADHD. My friend and co-founder, Casey Pfluger, and his beautiful daughter both have ADHD and autism. And I want you to imagine for a moment that there's a globally recognised treatment that's available for your child who is suffering, but that very treatment is inaccessible because it has to be in a clinic. It's expensive, and your child is expected to sit for an hour or so while a clinician glues cables to their skull. So neurofeedback as it stands allows you to strengthen your brain like a brain gym by playing a video game with your brain. But clinical neurofeedback, it relies on EEG technology, and it has to be performed in a clinic because it needs to be isolated from electrical interference like TVs and devices. So therefore, it's not portable. Our solution is a light-based sensor that will be implemented into our BCI headset, our brain-computer interface headset. That way, it won't be prone to interference, and it will be portable, and it can be used in the comfort of your own home. We currently have a proof of concept sensor that is responsive and generating data. Phase 2 is testing our sensor, before moving to developing our BCI headset. We are currently working with a number of commercial collaborators, including Clandestine Design Group in Brisbane and Carbon Circuit Engineers, to further optimise our sensor. Our team strengths are in medical research, BCI tech, R&D and business management. We recently won a Bionics Queensland Challenge major prize of $50,000, and that brought in a number of people who really quite desperately want to test the headset for their children. Phase 1 distribution will be primarily B2B sales, and we're aiming on building reimbursement options through NDIS, insurance companies, and through clinics. In terms of commercialization, so further on in the future, the market for BCI will expand into gaming, IoT, and VR. The global BCI market is, well, it was valued in 2015 at around 380 million, and it's projected to be valued, the market will be valued at around 1.2 billion by the end of 2024. At the moment, at this stage, we require $2 million, and that's just for the industrial design and manufacturing. But we will immediately use the 3K to process and progress our sensor optimization. Thank you so much for this opportunity to pitch tonight. With your help, we can change minds.
Oh, thank you so much, Amy Rose, and congratulations on this business that you've created. All right, I'd love to hear from our panel.
So, Amy, congratulations for you won the award, and that's a massive. So, have you applied the Accelerated Commercialization Grant?
No, we haven't. We've been head down, bums up for about 2 years, just developing the sensor. So now we're ready to talk.
Okay, Peter, you go.
Yep. So again, same question I had, Fiona. So it sounds like you've been bootstrapping this apart from the 50K that you got.
Yeah.
All right. So you're very deeply invested in this yourself personally at the moment.
Very much.
Yeah. Yep. Which again, I mean, that's always great to see in a founder that they are fully invested in what they're doing. Yep. So I'm just trying to understand a bit about, in the end, what the commercialization of this is. So, and you mentioned about the NDIS, how it actually applies further into that, because we've kind of got a bit of experience within our team in that space as well. So yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
Right. So it's what we envisage is a little bit like the CPAP model with the sleep apnea, where you go and you lease out the device for a number of months. So it's a subscription model, and then they return it, but it'll also be available customer to customer, but we're going to focus business to business first.
Yep. Okay. So how many sort of units in a year would you say that you would be producing in something like this?
We haven't reached the manufacturing stage to be able to understand clearly exactly those figures. So at the moment, we're working towards going through the design process of the headset, which comes after we finish with the sensor. So at the moment, I can't tell you how many we'll be able to produce. Sorry.
Yeah. So the 2 mil that you're looking to raise, I mean, which is a at a seed round is a fairly big chunk, being honest with you. Yeah. I mean, what is the application of the 2 mil?
So we need to move through the design, IP search. We need to make sure that we have our patents in place, our property secure. We need to we need to design it so that we can go for all of the regulatory approvals. So we have to go through a number of testing stages. We need to go, so there's a lot of R&D involved. It's to cover, and I'm being generous with the 2 million because I was advised that you should aim a little higher. But at this time, we need to go through the design and manufacturing process. We need to work with our electrical engineer to optimize. Then we need to go through the R&D, the testing, and then we need to implement it into the headset before we can move on to the next stage. Yeah.
So my advice to you is to look at the different capital stages on something like this. Sometimes, people will say, yeah, go for 2 mil, go for 5 mil, but the reality is you're going to have to dilute too much at this early stage. And then the issue becomes that if you dilute it too much, then you're losing creative control on it. So I think you've got to look at your cash runway and get a pretty good handle on that. The other one is to look at get an understanding around about the R&D offset support. Have you explored that at all?
Yeah, so I have a good friend of mine who runs an R&D company here on the Sunshine Coast, Claire, and so she is basically stalking me, waiting for me to come to her. So we're ready to go with that as soon as we hit that stage.
Yeah. Because maybe there's some of the things again is to look at what offsets and refunds and what stuff you can get on this, and what other strategic partners you can get involved in this as well. So because there's a lot of ways you can fund a business.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Amy Rose, on a great presentation as well, a great pitch. I know questions aren't always easy, and sometimes you kind of go, oh my gosh, I've got to answer questions, but mine is probably more so around the competitive environment in this space, and understanding that there's a lot of background and also a lot of funding that needs to be involved in your R&D in particular. And as Peter said, there are a number of different opportunities available to fund a business, and raising isn't always the only way that you need to go. So my question, as I said, is around the competitive side of, with virtual reality already available and quite, growing at quite a rate of knots. And also, in the OT space, I believe there's a lot of appliances available for OTs to use for brain injury and recovery. How does yours differ, I suppose, from what is already available, or, how easy is it for them to adapt the technology based on what you're doing?
So at the moment, our current competitive landscape it's comprised of Mendy and a couple of others, but our competitors are therapeutic devices. So therapeutic devices are the devices that you see that go around just where there's no hair, because at this time, any near-infrared light or light-based brain-computer interface headset cannot go through hair. So that's why they only have access to certain parts of the skull where there is no hair. Now, that means, though, that they don't have all of the data that they could have that's being produced from the headset. So what makes ours different is that we have quite a novel sensor design that is able to go through hair, whereas no one else has that at the moment.
And is that what you're looking to patent?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, great. Look, I think, again, as Peter alluded to, at this point of your journey, I'd also be focusing on how you can obtain that R&D and the patenting without having to raise for it, but keeping as much as you possibly can. And so, we're always happy to have a conversation offline as well to try and help steer you in any direction, or offer any kind of collaboration or opportunity. Introduction is the word I'm thinking of, that might help in this instance. But certainly at this point in time, I think if you can hold on to as much as you possibly can, that's always my recommendation.
We desperately do, but so medical devices are
costly.
Yes, it's really.
Yeah, I hear you. So, and that's why I think, there may be other ideals, as Peter always comes back to, is what is it that you want to achieve out of it? And once you can establish that, it may not be that you want to be the next billion-dollar company. It might be that you have someone who's interested in the patent licensing that you're doing versus actually going out and producing. There's lots of different opportunities out there.
And thanks, I might actually hit you up on that offer. So
Yeah, with pleasure.
I'll be emailing people.
Wonderful.
Another thing, Amy, about your manufacturing, and that's another thing you need to consider. Where are you going to manufacture your piece, and how is IP protected? And it's going to be in Australia or China or elsewhere. And how are you going to control the quality? And those are the things you really need to consider. And that's going to be a deciding factor for your success, especially if you are product driven, like a startup.
Thanks. We've been approached by 6141 Medical, who's a medical device manufacturer, who are very interested, and we are meeting every 6 months. So they would like to take us through the manufacturing stage once our sensor is fully optimized.
Great.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. My computer is playing up. Can you hear me? Okay, wonderful. I would now, thank you so much, Amy Rose, and I would now like to introduce our next speaker, Gertrude, who is joining us from New Zealand. Welcome, Gertrude.
Unmute. Good evening, everyone. Imagine a woman in a village in Africa designing a tribal necklace, selling it for what it's worth to a designer in New York for New York Fashion Week, and then giving an online lecture to students in a university in Paris. That is the Diversity Connector app. Good evening, everyone. My name is Gertrude Matcha. I'm a social entrepreneur originally from Zimbabwe and living in New Zealand for the last 21 years. I'm the founder and global curator of the Her Story Circle movement. And this is a multimedia platform where we coach and mentor speakers. We curate their stories into videos, podcasts, magazines, and books. Women in developing countries are at the bottom of the food chain. We're poor, not because we're lazy or lack creativity, but because we don't get access to the global marketplace to trade our goods and services and connect. The Diversity Connector is an app that bridges that gap for women in third world countries with those in the first world. It will help them access corporate speaking opportunities and training opportunities as well. Our tagline is inspired, ideas ignited and implemented. In phase one, the Diversity Connector is an idea busting tool for thought leaders and a memory practice app for speakers. It has a self-paced speaking course to create your signature speech. You get speaking tips and information. You get appointments and tasks that you can schedule and get reminders an hour before or 15 minutes. You accumulate points by enrolling other members, reading blog articles, watching recommended videos, and meeting appointments with your appointed accountability partner. We already have 30,000 members in 15 countries, and we're based here in Wellington, New Zealand. We want to release our pilot for free to the first 1,000 users. In phase two, the Diversity Connector is now a bridge between our speakers and our women in our community with corporate speaking opportunities and workshop facilitation in diversity, inclusion, and belonging. It will also have a payment gateway via telephone technology for those women in third world countries. Today, I'm here to ask for your help, not just for funding to market and scale this platform, to develop our MVP in phase one, but to extend your networks to help us reach more women, get corporate sponsorship and grants. So please step into the future with me and help us transform the world, one woman at a time, one story at a time. Thank you.
I think I'm off mute. I think we may have, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Thank you. I think we may have lost Peace.
Yeah, yep. So
yes.
Someone else has become host.
Okay. Well, I'll help Peace out and I might help facilitate just for a few minutes. Congratulations, Greta. Well done. Gertrude, on a fantastic pitch. And I love the idea. I think it's really heartfelt and it's a beautiful idea. I'm really curious to hear, how have you validated the idea in order to actually know that there's a problem that you're solving and that there's a need to actually solve it?
This idea was launched in July 2019. I had collapsed with congestive heart failure in a rice field in Indonesia.
I'm sorry to hear.
And I realized at that point that all of my projects that I had initiated in Africa, Southeast Asia, the Caribbean, where I was helping get women out of poverty with very small amounts of money from my businesses, would have died with me. So I launched this as an in-person conference. I got sponsorship from the New Zealand government. I was given a grant for $150,000 in 2019, which I didn't manage to use because of COVID. I had 10 in-person events in Las Vegas, Wellington, Sydney, Norway, London, New York, Brisbane, Melbourne, Hamilton, and Auckland before everything stopped in March 2020. I then put the platform online, and we are scaling faster now than I could have ever imagined. So I've proved it, I've tested it. There is a need. Women are wanting to connect. They're wanting opportunities to make money from home. And we have a growing community that already exists.
Fantastic. Well done.
Well done, and thank you. My name is Iman Solomon. I'm the Social Inclusion Ambassador for Women in Tech Australia. I'd like to welcome you all. And just Peace Mitchell having some technical difficulties from the other end. So if can please the next panelist ask the next questions, please. Thank you.
So yeah, I really want to acknowledge you, Gertrude, and this is an amazing pitch. And also by myself as a migrant from another country, I just know how challenging it can be to talk about the diversity inclusion. So a few things I want to ask was, what is your current business model? Is a subscription model, is it just a social enterprise? And how, I get the picture, but then other than the what you ask for everyone connect, like the money side, and how much money you ask for, what's that for?
Okay, so I am asking for $1 million. We are a pay-to-play platform. Our members come online to speak for $97 at a minimum. They get a 15-minute opportunity, like a TED Talk. At $447 and $997, we charge them to get published in an anthology with 10 other women, and they get published in the Her Story magazine. They get exposure through our podcast. So people have already been paying these prices. We also didn't want money to be a barrier to entry for women to participate, especially women from Zimbabwe, from Africa, where I come from. $97 is a lot of money. So we have created a scholarship program where there are some women within our network who will sponsor another woman in a third world country who can't afford. And that has been working like a charm. We go ahead and design that woman's book cover. We help her promote and market her story using our networks, and people pre-order her book. So if she sells 15 books, she qualifies for the 447 package. If she sells 30 copies, she qualifies for the 997 package. And that has been working as well. Now, the amount of money I'm asking for is to help me build the technology behind this platform. In Africa, people don't get access to physical cash. In Zimbabwe in particular, we do not have a currency. We are trading in US dollars. So unless you have children who live overseas, who send you money, people are bartering for basic food commodities in Africa. So what I used to do when my parents were alive is I would send them money through their phone. We have what's called Eco Cash. So in every village in Africa, people have got cell phones, and that's how we transact. You can take your cell phone to a supermarket, you can pay your children's school fees, and that's how I've been supporting the women in the cooperatives that I have set up in Africa. I transfer the money through a platform called World Remit. So I'm wanting to interface that in phase 2. I'm also trying to turn this into a reality TV show. So imagine a show like The Voice, American Idol, but for speakers. The competition is on 2 parts. It's on you standing up as a thought leader with an idea that can be implemented by somebody else. On the other side, every one of our members brings a social impact project that she supports in her community. We're looking for those unsung heroes, people who do things for other people without expecting any acknowledgement, grassroots projects where if we donate $5,000, $10,000, we know that 100 women got out of poverty from that gift.
Okay, great. So very impressive, Gertrude, what you're wanting to achieve there. And one of the things I've always liked is microfinance in third world countries, where, as you know, microfinance always goes to the women because give it to the men and then they'll waste the money, and women apply the money and they use it to not only look after their family but also to create jobs for other women as well. And that's how you create great social change in third world countries. And I can see similarities in what you're talking about, what you're wanting to do there, because I mean, if you can change 1 or 2 women's life in a village, then automatically you're changing the village as well. So I think, you know, it's a great initiative that you've got going there, and I can start to see how you could do it where, like you said, having sponsorships and having sponsors fund these young women to be able to build their dream over there as well. So I'd need to understand a little bit more about how you want to go about doing it. And suppose going back to the same thing I said before with Amy, that I mean, you want $1 million, but it's again about having a look at when you need that and where to source it from, and what are the ways of being able to fund this as well. And happy to have an offline conversation with you around some of the options on doing that. But yeah, I'm a really great believer in things like what you're doing, because I think the more that we can empower young women in particular in third world countries, that's where you're going to create the social change. It's not with the men, it's with the women.
No.
Yeah,
Thank you, Peter. And we've already found a solution to raise the $1 million amongst the community.
Right.
In scaling this project, we are now licensing the Her Story Circle platform for other women to invest at $1,000. So if we got enough money to market and promote that and sell 1,000 licenses at $1,000 each, we can raise the money just within our community. It's the marketing budget that's really difficult at the moment.
Yeah, to get to there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you scoped out what you think that is?
We have scoped that out at 50,000 US.
Yep.
And the platform that we are trying to look at, we can get a platform that we can white label from one of my mentors to get us started and get the community on the platform and start testing the app. She said it will cost us anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. And that's why I phased it in 3 phases. So we're not trying to do everything at once.
Yep. Cool. All right. Great. Well, as I said, the invite's there if you want to have an offline conversation.
Thank you.
That's the type of things we as a firm that we want to support. I mean, it's not for us. That's not about making money. That's about making a difference. And you know, as I said, I'm a great believer in empowering women in third world country, and not only that, giving them access to first world business knowledge as well, which would be an interesting thing. You maybe even have considered that as well. But you know, I think you know, that's one of the things we need to do as a first world, is to share how we do things to get to there.
And vice versa. There's a lot of knowledge that comes out of developing countries that is not known.
Yeah, absolutely. And
thank you.
That's the beauty of technology, in particular, you know, cell phones, is they've changed everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Gertrude. It's wonderful hearing your story and hearing about this incredible work that you are doing and your vision for even more of that in the future. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, I would now like to introduce our next speaker, and that is Jo Agrester. Welcome, Jo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. So I'll get right into it. So who here can say that finding a home was the easiest thing they've ever done? Definitely not me. Hi, I'm Jo, and I'm a real estate marketplace survivor and founder of Abodi. And like many, my partner and I decided to enter the property market, and it was going to be our first home together. And the process of finding a home is both exciting and stressful. We spent hours looking at houses, finding different how-to guides, talking with experts, and my favourite one, handling emails and callbacks from agents. Wouldn't it be great to have all of that in one place with as much guidance as possible? And that's where we come in. Abodi is a real estate matchmaking platform that connects clients with verified agents, like a dating app for houses. Customers will have access to verified agents, conveyancers, and mortgage brokers who are all custom matched with them based on their preferences entered when creating an account. Agents will also have a profile for customers to view with things like reviews and video intros. And unlike realestate.com, Abodi gives users the choice to post an ad and enlist an agent to help them sell or find their home. We also protect the privacy of our customers by allowing them to reach out and make inquiries with agents without needing to leave any contact details, avoiding those pesky callbacks at dinner time or an influx of emails. And Abodi will strive to move the entire home journey into the digital world. We are fast growing into a technological era, and it's time to modernise the real estate industry. No need to drive into the CBD to meet with a conveyancer or rush after work to meet a real estate agent. View and sign contracts automatically and electronically, pay deposits, and have access to virtual tours of properties. We also have an educational material available, aiming to cover each part of the home journey for our readers via checklists, how-to guides, reviews, and even our very own podcast, where we interview like-minded people who have gone through the journey already. Our goal is to make this the realest and truest account of what happens in the market, with some funny stories along the way. Filming has just started, and we intend to premiere the podcast this December. At Abodi, we believe the journey isn't done once your house settles. You've finally moved in, but there's so much more ground to cover. We will provide tools and guidance on things like maintenance, council rates and rules, utility bills, landscaping, and so much more. We want to be there for you if and when the time comes and you'd like to sell or lease your home and start the process all over again. To help us on that journey, we'll need to develop our app, and we're asking for an investment of $250,000 so we can deliver this value to our 10 million people in the housing market within the next 12 months in Australia. Our mission is to switch the stress for excitement so you can say that finding or selling your home was the easiest thing you've ever done. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jo, and thank you.
Thank you.
Over to our panelists.
Well done, Jo. I'll jump in if you don't mind, because I'd love to say congratulations on your pitch. You have certainly put a lot more time, or put time and effort into developing it. Just a bit of background. I think Jo and I had a conversation a little while ago, and I can absolutely say she's done exceptionally well in terms of progressing where the idea first started to where it's at now, and I can certainly see your vision for it. So well done for that.
Oh, thank you.
My pleasure. So I would love to know, how are you going to monetize this? What does that look like?
Definitely. So for us we've got the B2B side, which will be a commission-based model. So on succession. So when an agent has their properties listed and a client connects with them, because we can track the entire sale process, once settlement goes through, that's when we would initiate the commission to be, taken from them. So just a percentage of looking at 0.02% to be taken from the transaction of the price of the property that they're selling. And in terms of the other side, so the B2C, that is a freemium-based model. So we're just looking at doing like a premium upgrade for certain features, but then having it free because it's hard to compete with realestate.com who are free when you've got access to some really good stuff. So yeah, just trying to be as competitive as possible.
Yeah. So touching on that and touching on realestate.com, there's two things I was actually hoping to ask around that. One is the competition side and what is stopping someone like realestate.com coming along and taking the idea and running with it, you know, for future. And some of these ideas would be just probably quite easy plugins for them to add into the market that they've already got hold of.
Yeah, definitely. And I can definitely see how they could easily sweep in and come in and do something that I'm trying to establish. But I think it's pretty hard to change a model that you've already formed with a really good, solid transaction, you know, that they have. So people come onto the website, it's completely free. You don't pay for realestate.com. There's no upgrades. It's just you jump on, you get a service. And on the other side, they're charging for their advertising fee. So it's a little bit different in the sense of how they would get their transactions, and they also don't provide all the benefits of like conveyancers, brokers, and all those other things, because it comes into, you know, the legalities of it. So you have to do a lot. There's a lot that's involved in my processes to get it legally flowing, corrected, and done properly on the app. Otherwise, we can't do it.
Yeah. And my last question is, how have you validated the idea? Have you, what kind of research or, you know, qualitative, quantitative research have you done to actually know that A, there's a problem out there that needs to be solved, but B, that people are prepared to pay for that problem?
Definitely. So I did a bunch of market research, and when I say a bunch, I mean I have done surveys, and I've spoken to hundreds of people. I do talking, I do cold calling, having surveys over the phone, just myself after work hours, and just say, hey, how you going? And having a chat to people about their experience and what would have helped them, and also testing my prototype. I've tested it with over 25 people now who have all given nothing but positive feedback, and then just things that they would like to see that are extra. So then I take that feedback away, go back and make changes, and then present it to them again and say, hey, try it now and give me more feedback and see what you think.
Yeah.
And with, you know, validating that idea that way, I guess. So it's just constant touch points with the customers and having that close network of people.
Yeah, great. Well done.
Thank you.
Hi, Joe. First of all, congratulations for well done pitch. And it's very quite impressive. Talk about the real estate. Actually, I'm sitting as an advisor, another blockchain real estate company, as well as I'm sitting on the foundation of International Blockchain and the Real Estate Foundation. So with your enterprise, one thing I'm quite a little bit concerned was that you trying to put a lot of stuff in one startup at this moment. Have you given like a thought on the niche starting point instead of put everything in one go?
Definitely. So this was something that I did quite a bit of research on. We're looking to actually just release one side of the real estate transaction first, which is the buying. So looking at just that transaction where you're buying a property, they come on the app, and it's simply a matchmaking process and giving access to your other parts of the businesses that you need. So for example, you need a conveyancer or a broker, you would give them a login so they can come into the app and upload or take documents that they need with your permission. So just focusing not on everything at once with its renting, selling, buying, leasing, investing, it's too much. So just focusing on the buying.
If you just focus on buying, have you heard an app called the Transactor?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so that was an app in real estate industry already does what you just said. What's the difference between yours and theirs?
Definitely. So for us, one of our big point of differences is the fact that we try and keep all your privacy protected. So rather than you being able to reach out to agents, transfer your personal information and then get an influx of questions and, you know, calls from the agent, which can be, you know, was one of the pain points that we realised in the market and a gap, that people were hesitant to reach out to an agent with fear of getting constant callbacks or emails. So we've made that secure for them to jump on the platform. They can submit an inquiry with our messenger function, and they can actually talk to the agent. And then when they're, you know, committed, or they're coming away from that tire kicker, they say, stage where they're not 100% sure if they're buying or what they're doing, and they become more serious, they can then jump on the app and say, yep, here are my contact details, let's make a deal.
So, Joe, where are you at on your journey to date? I mean, what stage are you at?
So definitely pre-revenue and bootstrapping. That's how I've sort of started out. At the moment, we are launching the podcast in December, and the aim of the podcast is to start getting a following and a trust with our community and getting that brand built to be the go-to. So, we need to know more information. So that's going to give us that brand and that, I guess the pillar in the community that we're a reliable source for real estate, how-to guides, information, and how you can buy or sell property. And then once we've got that part launched, we're trying to launch the actual product by September, so September 2020. So I've spoken to mechanics of scale who are actually going to help me on that journey to help scale the business fully into September next year. And that's just working out, the funding side of things, getting investment. That's why the 250,000 was my ask in my pitch.
Okay. All right. Cool. And so the 250K, what's that going to get you to?
Definitely. So that will give us our first full sprint of the app, which is going to be, like I mentioned before, just focusing on the buying side of things. That will pay for the legalities and the trademark classes that we need to operate under. So we can operate in multiple sort of sectors of the market. And that will also, I guess, not only that, but also just the education and the podcast ongoing for season 2 as well. And, within that, develop the app in full, because at the moment it's a prototype. So it's just going to give us that storage, smooth transaction all the way through.
Yep. So one of your big ones on this is customer acquisition. So, and I would imagine in that marketplace, you're going to have a fairly hefty cost of acquisition. I mean, how are you going to get scale?
Definitely. So with acquisition, we want to look at the advertising on all parts, like getting advertising in and actually, having other businesses advertise on our platform and use that platform as a mean for leads, and not only just looking at charging them, we're charging others commission. So if we can monetize from getting leads or getting them leads in their business from our platform, that will help, I guess, our monetization of the actual business itself. It's going to be a challenge, especially with your freemium models. But if we can do our premium upgrade subscription on the other side for users, I feel like these, from just what I'm testing out, and I'm still working through 100% costs. I don't know. I'm doing the research at the moment on what we would charge customers and what people would pay for it. So I can't give you a definitive answer on, what the profit loss looks like right now. But that's definitely the path we're heading down, is if we're charging people on the other side and also for transactions, it's just about getting the 1% of the market share and making sure that if we've got that amount of properties on the board and we're getting 1% of the population that are actually buying property at the moment or right now, that'll give us a really good balance and an indicator if we're going to be successful.
Yep, sure. So one question you will get from investors on this is what's the exit?
Yeah, what's the exit? Look, I think a lot of startup founders will always say, I never thought of myself exiting, but I think being bought out by a realestate.com or a big conglomerate like that, that have belief in the idea that it's going to be, sorry, not the idea, but the business itself, that it's going to be something massive that they want to buy me out, that would be an exit plan for me. Yep,
because to the investors, that's how they'll be looking at this. It's like, yeah, how are we going to get out of this one? Because they will be weighing up about your competition on this, and they'll be wanting to know, how do I get my money, a return on my money and the return of my money.
It would definitely be the exit plan. I think that's the best bet.
Yep. Cool.
If I can just...
Sorry, Jackie.
No, go on, Peter.
No, I've finished.
I was just going to add to that, Joe, another thing to consider when you are building out your model or your financial modelling is that, yes, saying that paying for advertising will bring revenue, but at the same time, that revenue and that for that advertising, they would want to see a high return or a relative return in terms of the reach that they're going to get for that advertising. So it's a little bit of chicken and egg there that you really need to think about is, okay, it's all well and good to get the paid advertising, but you've got to have customers using your platform and enough customers to warrant them paying for the advertising to start with. So building a marketplace is quite a difficult, it's not easy, so I take my hat off to you it's a big job, and well done for getting to this point.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, and definitely take your feedback on.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Well done. Great presentation. We are ready now for the next speaker. So can we please have Kathy Harpel to present her pitch?
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Kathy.
Okay, so in Australia, we have a really big problem. 1 in 5 people have chronic pain. That's 3.2 million people, and it costs Australia around $74 billion per year. Now, we also have a problem out of 3 surgeries are actually unnecessary. And we have over 1,000 deaths per year due to prescription opioids. We also know that chronic pain is the globally leading cause of disability in insurance claims, and over 80% of those claims of injured workers are due to chronic pain. We also know that less than 20% of those claims actually incur 90% of the cost to the insurer. So what can we do about it? We now know that multidisciplinary pain management programs are superior to standard treatment of pharmaceutical and invasive care. However, in Australia, there's up to 18 months waiting time to access these programs. So we've developed an integrated behavioural medicine pain program delivered via an app in a person's phone with 24/7 live health coaching that is driven by machine learning of our outcome data. And basically, this gives them a pain team in their pocket that they can access 24 hours a day, anywhere and everywhere. In this app, we've got 3 learning pathways that are embedded with evidence-based practice from global core competencies in pain management. In every learning pathway, we are able to see via the outcome data where behaviour is actually changing. My name's Kathy Hubbell, and I'm the founder and CEO of Emilio Health. With over 20 years' experience in chronic pain management and a master's degree in pain medicine, I've partnered with experts in rehabilitation and curriculum university design and development, and also as a tech developer with a proven CTO and angel investor. So we do have competitors in this market. And globally, there are 24 online chronic pain management programs, none of which do medication rationalisation, and only 2 collect outcome data. We are the only ones who have an integrated learning pathway for health professionals, and we are outcomes and values-based. So we want to empower people with knowledge so they can make informed choices about their care. And we are driving behaviour change through machine learning. We launched in January 2020, right when the pandemic hit. So insurers were looking for a digital solution for chronic pain management in their workers' compensation insurance. And we partnered with 5 rehab providers who are referring clients now from over 10 insurers in Australia. In the UK, we have also partnered with a rehab provider who has recently won the Gold Award for Innovation in Insurance by Women. We have won multiple awards now in rehabilitation, innovation in digital health, and most recently have been announced as the best pain management program in the Australia Pacific region by Global Health and Pharma Technology Awards. So what's our next steps? We are looking for $350,000 in investment to upgrade our tech and automate our processes. So if you are an investor and have a passion for social impact, digital health, please get in touch with us at emilio@emiliohealth.com.
Thank you, Kathy, and congratulations on everything you've achieved.
Thanks.
Okay, I'd love to hand over to our investors now. Who has a question for Kathy?
So, Casey, well done. One thing I'd like to ask you about, is your product suitable for China market?
Well, we actually only have it in English at this point in time. So it's really important that people have a good understanding in English. It can be available anywhere that there is, a population that is happy to engage with us in the English version.
So other than the language, and so if language is not the concern, is that suitable in China market?
It's absolutely suitable because chronic pain is global and we know that it is a big problem everywhere. So we would partner with a rehab provider in China and they would then on-sell it to the insurers in China.
Okay, so that's one question. Two is later on we should connect. I may be able to find your investor in China.
Perfect.
Another thing is with your current situation, what is, where are you at? Have you generated revenue? What's your revenue model? And where are you at?
So the revenue model is B2B. So we actually sell the program to rehab providers. So we partner with them and then they on-sell it to the insurer. So they're basically doing their rehabilitation within the insured space. And so we run the program educating that rehab provider all the way through the learning pathway with their client as they go through the program. We were in revenue in June last year, right when in the middle of COVID. So we basically had to stretch the life out of our MVP, which is why we now want to upgrade our tech. We've been consistently between 5,000 and 10,000 a month in terms of revenue. We're now just starting to ramp up again after the lockdown because insurers just weren't referring over the lockdown period because they had no jobs for people to go back to. So it was just basically status quo during that time. We're now back up to around 35,000 a month with an outgoing cost of around 10,000 a month in on costs of the platform.
So Kathy, so you're already in the black, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Which is great effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 350K that you're wanting to raise, I mean, just again, what's the application of funds on that? What's the breakdown?
Yeah, so we went to tender for our automation of our onboarding, automation of our data flow, and upgrade of our app itself, because we want to be able to white label it to our partners in the UK. We also want to white label it to the US, where there's 50 million people with chronic pain, and 1% of that market is actually worth 1.75 billion for us. So that's we have to be able to cope with those numbers. So we need to be able to scale up at a rate that would cope with these big numbers that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I understand all of that. And so you funded this personally to date?
Yes, I did.
Yep. Great.
Yep.
And so you've got no one on other than yourself on the cap table at the moment?
No, there is my business partner,
Yep.
Stefan McSweeney, who is an expert in rehabilitation and university curriculum design online, and he has 14%. We've also got, who doesn't have a percentage holding at the moment, but our tech developer, Daniel Layu. So he's an experienced CTO and multiple startups and exits.
So how many are in the company so far?
There's 3 of us that are actually on the executive team, and then we have 2 health coach managers.
Right. Okay, so that's part of your model, having these health coach managers to work with the clients themselves.
Yeah, so we also want to be able to allow the UK team to actually do their own health coaching, and that would be the part of the white labelling that we would like to do, so that we're not actually doing their management of their clients.
Yep. And again, what's the end game? Where do you want to take this thing?
Well, with 28 million people in the UK that have chronic pain, we'd like to look towards a rather large exit in between 5 and 7 years, around the, especially if we're in the United States market, probably around the 1 to 2 billion.
Okay. All right. Cool. Great. That's all for me. Thank you. Well done.
Hi, Kathy. Well done on a great pitch again. It's so inspiring. I love these events because it makes me, just realize so much more about and reinforces really what we are doing at Shepreneur and backing female founders. It just absolutely fuels my fire. So thank you. My question is probably a little more left of field rather than from an investor perspective, but in terms of, and I may not quite have understood the program, but how do you get around when someone is already going through chronic health and experiencing chronic health issues? How do you get around the mindset or the psychology behind actually getting them to use a program because they're already in so much pain? I would have thought the last thing they want to do is actually get on an app and go through a program versus pop a pill and try and help manage the pain. So
yeah, yes,
that's something I'm quite curious about.
Yeah, so we are, we're all about empowering the individual with knowledge. And one of the things that people who are on claim struggle with is the lack of control over where they go and what they can do. They've already been referred most of the time to the face-to-face chronic pain programs. So this gives them an opportunity to access the program through an app in their phone from the comfort of their own home. The programs are very similar, and we use psychology tools that actually measure their understanding, their knowledge, their struggles, their values, everything that is embedded in chronic pain. The problem we have with these face-to-face programs is that they don't actually educate the rehabilitation provider. And this is where the added support and the 24-hour support that we offer in the live chat is really important for these people, because they can, it's Sunday night, in the middle of the night, when they're really having a bad time with their pain. You've probably used a fair amount of medication. They can't access any health professionals, but they can talk to a pain specialist in their phone at any time, 24 hours a day. And it's about reducing that catastrophizing behaviour and being able to calm their nervous system down, so we can then get them engaged more in the learning that they're doing. And by doing really bite-sized chunks of, video format learning, they are not being made to read a huge amount of information and take on board such complex ideas and around chronic pain management.
Really interesting. My last question, because I am just mindful of time as well, is what sort of, do you have stats or data around what the drop-off rates are from the clients actually using the platform?
Yeah, so we started with a pilot with GIO, and we had 41 people. We had an 85% completion rate, and 95% of those actually increased their capacity. And we actually had one champion who'd been on claim for over 9 years and multiple failed surgeries, which you can actually see her story on our website, who was also dependent on opioids and really, really struggling with withdrawals. After the program, she went back to work full-time as a lawyer. So after 9 years and opioids. So we've had some amazing outcomes, and the turnaround is absolutely incredible that we've had. You know, it gives me goosebumps every day when we have such good outcomes.
Congratulations! They're brilliant stats, and how satisfying, you know, to be able to help people in that way. I can only imagine is really special. So well done.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kathy, and congratulations. You really are changing people's lives at this age. Okay, I'd now like to introduce our next presenter, and that is Kimberly Harrison. Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Kim Harrison, and I'm the founder of Givex, a payment solution that enables charities to receive cryptocurrency donations. I am an ex-regulator, but before I lose you there, I'm also a Masters of FinTech student, and I'm working full-time in the finance industry. So a few months ago, I identified that Australian charities are missing out on a huge amount of untapped revenue. Currently, they're either unable or unwilling to accept crypto donations for a number of reasons, including perceived volatility and risk, regulatory concerns, along with a lack of knowledge in the space. In terms of the market, Australians own $8 billion worth of digital assets, with 1 in 6 people owning some form of crypto. We surveyed potential donors of crypto, and our user validation showed that 66% of people were either likely or very likely to donate crypto to a charity that was able to accept the donation. They also identified that there were 2 main barriers in making the donation. Firstly, the uncertainty of the tax implications, and secondly, charities simply don't accept the donations. To remove these barriers, I created Givex. Our solution will enable users to send donations of crypto to charities. It's then immediately transferred into dollars and put into the charity's bank account. This minimizes the risk of volatility and allows charities to outsource the tech and expertise behind crypto to Givex. We've also developed an education product to publish on our website to explain the tax implications of making the donation. And our business model so far is really simple. It's a 4% transaction fee per donation charged to the charity. So I'm currently participating in the ADO Accelerator for female tech founders. So I'm early stage in my MVP development. However, in the last 11 weeks through ADO, I've already incorporated and registered with AUSTRAC, developed a simple website, completed user validation of potential donors, liaised with the regulators, as well as specialist lawyers and accountants in the crypto space. I'm in the process of my software development, developed my process maps for sales, charity onboarding, and user experience, and booked in our first charity meeting. I'd say that so far in the program, our biggest win has been validating the idea with potential users and confirming with the regulator that we can begin to offer the service for transactions as long as they're under $1,000. That's without an AFSL. So what really excites me about the solution is that there's no one in Australia, in the Australian market, that offers it. It's really scalable, and there's precedent for the business model to be super successful. There's a service in the USA offering something similar, and they're on track to process $100 million worth of crypto donations in 2021 alone. So my ask today is that if you know anyone in the charity space that would love to open up this revenue stream or simply learn more, please get in touch. Because by enabling charities to better fulfill their mission using Givex, we can truly change the world.
Congratulations, Kim. Amazing, amazing hearing about what you're doing. Okay, over to our panel. Who has questions?
Kim, it's a very great idea, and I would highly recommend you join Australian Blockchain Alliance. And there are a lot of blockchain company, crypto company about. All right, and congratulations. One thing I want to ask you is, how are you going to make money? How are you going to grow? And what is the business model of Givex? And yeah.
Okay, so currently it'll be a 4% transaction fee for every donation. There has to be a minimum amount of the donation. I'm sure, as you know, there's fees on the block to use the blockchain network or the Bitcoin network, for example. There's exchange fees and things like that. So my calculations show that out of the 4% donation for Givex, there's a 2% profit margin on that after all the costs of those fees come out. Obviously, in order to make money, we just need to get our first charity customers on board. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of hesitancy in the space because of the nature of crypto, which is something that we're trying to, I guess, combat with our education resources that we're going to publish. And like I said, we've booked our first meeting with our first charity to discuss it and go through their concerns. So hoping that that will yield some really good results as well.
Great. I'll jump in now. So, yeah, clever idea, and the start of the 8 billion in crypto in Australia. That's a fairly substantial amount of money, and I mean you only need to get a fraction of that. I mean, just working back in that, if your plan is to get an AFSL, or are you going to stay below the $1,000 transaction? What's your thoughts there?
Absolutely need an AFSL. It doesn't make sense to not have one. Obviously, I'm in early stage startup though, so it's not an option for me. I don't have a history of transactions where I can go to an existing AFSL holder to operate under. So in terms of, I guess, the regulatory, needs in this space, I'm starting by offering under $1,000 to get some traction, get people on board. After that, I'll approach somebody that has an AFSL, negotiate operating under their AFSL, and then as we expand, look to getting our own AFSL, obviously getting more people on board that have that are able to get that licensing as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Get some traction under the $1,000, because you wouldn't want to limit yourself to the $1,000.
Definitely not.
But then, I mean, once you go into your own AFSL, I mean, obviously, if you can get a car in the meantime under an AFSL, that would be the ideal way of doing it. But then getting your own AFSL, I suppose, sounds like that's what your background is in. Yeah. So it was with ASIC?
No, so I worked in a different regulatory space. I'm in finance at the moment. I've had a few meetings with ASIC just to hash out what the space looks like, what the licensing requirements are, to get that information so that, from the start, that's what I'm aiming for. That's my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, coming back to about the 4% fee, I mean, if it is $1,000 transaction, that's $40. So, if you're looking for 50% margin, then you've $20 hard costs to get it. I mean, it's going to be, what is your cost of customer acquisition on it? So, and whether you can do this on 4%. I mean, have you tested this with any charities at the moment as to what they would? Because I would have thought 4% would have been light on for them in terms of the cost of acquisition of money.
Yes, that's what my research is telling me, the 4%. I don't want to obviously set it in stone, but that's the numbers that I'm working on with this early stage. In terms of charities, I do have my first meeting next week, which I'm really excited about. But the reason I haven't approached them sooner in terms of validation is just the space itself is so scary. And I wanted to make sure that I had all the regulatory stuff behind me so that I'm rock solid when I go to them and I can say, no, I've got this, this, and this. I'm all over it, basically, which is why I haven't done that yet. So again, it's not set in stone yet. It'll be a dynamic thing until we get that feedback and move from there. But there's definitely a lot of margin that can be made as well in terms of done some research with a crypto accountancy firm.
Yep.
And the crypto community is very, very generous, and they've got a market to burn. I think the market cap at the moment is $3 trillion. So they do want to donate those larger amounts because, as a percentage of their wealth, it's not much. So we'll definitely be working towards the AFSL to then get some of kind of the whales of the crypto world on board.
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of merit in your idea. Obviously, there's a lot of groundwork you've got to do around this, and I wouldn't be afraid to go to the charities now, or just on a market research basis, and say if you were to access this source of funds, I mean, would you be able to do 6 or 8%? It's always easier to come down than go up. And if it means that they're getting dollars that they wouldn't otherwise be getting at the moment, I mean, I would have thought they would have gone for that.
Yeah. Do you think like me? I'm thinking, you know, it's whatever the fee is, if it's 8%, it's 92% of money that they don't have. They never had access to.
That's the way that you would pitch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and look, I think the marketplace, you know, those people I know that are in crypto, they are people who are aspirational about wealth and all the rest of it. At the same time, you know, they know that they've got to give back as well. So, you know, so I think it's a marketplace which will give.
Yeah. Well done, Kim. Great pitch, great idea. Really interesting, actually, really interesting idea. Question for you is, how do you mitigate a crash in the market with crypto? You know, given that it is so volatile. Yeah, I'm curious to know how would that, or would that have an impact? What kind of impact would it have?
Yep. So what we'd be looking at is transferring it from crypto to fiat immediately, straight away, so that at that moment in time when they donate, it's worth what it's worth. And I know that it can, you know, stuff happens within 10 seconds in the crypto market. It can happen. But that's our way of mitigating that risk, which is obviously a concern in taking on crypto.
Yeah. So, and that would work, you know, given that real-time processing. I wonder, though, what effect it would have down the track in terms of actual donations being made during a crash.
Yeah, correct. Well, we have considered that, but you know, we can't predict the market. If we could predict the market, we'd all probably be, you know, crypto trillionaires. But unfortunately, it's a risk that we do have to take on board, and it would affect the amount that we would process. But I don't think it would be in any means by enough to, you know, as long as we've got that operating margin on the fee, it'll still be profitable.
No, and look, I understand you can't predict the market the same way we can't predict, you know, the housing market. You can't predict the stock market. You know, markets are never predictable. But what does need to be, I suppose, answerable is the thought process behind the what ifs as well, because that's really important when we're talking, you know, 4%. 4% of fees is the revenue model, and you know, all of a sudden. As an example, the competitor or the company in the US, I think that you mentioned, we're looking at, was it 100 million turnover or revenue? Up to
that's how many donations that they'd processed. Correct. Yes, in 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, if you take 4% of that, that's $4 million. So of that $4 million, where does that leave you if there was a crash? So. You know, and your operating expenses and all of those things, which is, they're all just, you know, points to be mindful of as you look at building out your financial model. But I think overall, you know, there's certainly merit there. That your timing, I'm not sure. I think it's early adopters. There's definitely merit there. So well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Another one on that. So, Kim, have you researched any crypto holders as around about what their acceptance of this idea would be like?
Yeah, I did do some customer validation. So I sourced my customers. To be honest, I went through the Facebook crypto groups, put my survey information in there, and had really good responses. And their concerns, besides what I'd outlined in the pitch, so we had the tax implications. They didn't know how that worked, which, you know, we're going to provide this tax guidance document for that. And also, it was just that nowhere had accepted it. They did cite that the lack of regulation made them nervous to donate crypto. In the age bracket, though, the millennial, I guess, age bracket, the younger millennials that took the survey, they were saying they hold more crypto than fiat. They try and operate mainly in digital currency, which was really interesting to me. I didn't expect it when I looked at the data. And considering, you know, the millennials are the most conscious consumers, you know, of all time, that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted the opportunity to donate it, but they don't, I guess, have the means to do it. And I did note as well that of the people that took the survey, 80% of them had made a charity donation in the last 12 months. So when I filtered out by that, just in case they were saying, yeah, I donated, but they never make a charitable donations. So they indicated that they had, which I thought was a great sign.
Yeah. So how many surveys have you done on this?
Only the one so far, the one user validation survey.
Yeah.
How
many people actually were part of that?
We had 28 respondents.
And you're looking to raise money on this, are you?
Not at the moment. I really want to take a really good product to market first. I'd love to find a co-founder that wants to come on the journey with me as well. So that's really what I'm looking at the moment.
Yeah, because just as an idea, I mean, I would expand that survey out even further, because that actually target seed investors for you as well, because just knowing the type of people who invest in crypto, if you went back to them with an idea of being, to seed level, you might get some takers on that.
Yeah, great idea. Thank you.
And Kim, I also do have an introduction to the Australian Charity Guide, if you're interested. They have over 10,000 charities on the platform. So,
that would be amazing. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim, and congratulations. Very exciting venture and time ahead for you. Well done. All right. I'd now like to introduce our next presenter, Melissa Molinaro. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you so much, Peace. I'm Melissa Molinaro, founder of Elite Parties, an app that you can download from the Google Play and Apple Store, and it's going to revolutionise the party industry for good. Elite Parties connect suppliers in the events industry with busy mums with one or more children who love to plan epic events but are time poor. So who's this target market? It is me, it's you, it's the superhero who are time poor but want to create amazing events for their loved ones. The idea came to me through frustration of organising my own kids' birthday parties. The information that I needed was everywhere, in my emails, in my text messages, spreadsheets, notepads, so disorganised. I was overwhelmed that the party wouldn't be a success. And as a mother, all I wanted to do was make my kids proud of me and not disappoint them. So I became really just overwhelmed and anxious about the whole process. I thought to myself, there has to be a better way. So through extensive research in the mother networks that I have around me, I discovered that nothing like this existed. So I created a solution to a big problem mothers were having. I created an app where they could create any event they wanted, and they could invite any of their guests on their mobile or through their emails, and those guests could then RSVP. They could create their to-do list, search local suppliers, purchase through local suppliers, manage their budgets, everything on one app. However, COVID brought the events industries to its knees, especially in Melbourne. Because of this, we shifted our why focus slightly. Elite Parties can and will be a vital solution to reviving the events industry. Suppliers have wanted this for a long time, but are now ready for it because they need as much exposure as they can get for minimal cost and minimal effort. And that's exactly what Elite Parties provides. They can create their business profile, including their logos, websites, business name, obviously, social media links, add their images, descriptions, prices of their products and services, and really showcase their business offerings to their target market. Hot leads will come to them with minimal effort and minimal cost to them. Our achievements over the last 18 months have been huge. As of Tuesday this week, we've been accepted into stage 1 of StartMate cohort for 2022. So we're really excited about that. We've got 2 more interviews to go. So we should find out more by the start of December. First month of launch, we had 1,000 downloads. So we were overwhelmed and excited about that. But it was an app that both suppliers and users straight away recognised that it was what they needed. So we were loving that. We placed bronze in the Digital Innovation Awards that Peace and Katie held over the Osmompreneur Awards, which we're really proud of. We've received 2 AWS grants worth $17,000, 2 Victorian government grants worth $10,000. I've attracted 2 business partners, one who specialises in PR and digital marketing, and the other who specialises in streamlining our backend system and the user experience. So he's our technical partner. We've connected 50 planners with suppliers successfully Australia-wide, and we've trademarked our logo. We have already 500 suppliers on our app Australia-wide, and we've had 20 users download in the last week since everything has opened up in Australia, and since Melbourne is actually now really opened up, we're getting a lot of traction. So our funding proposal includes advertising, News Corp campaign, 12 months of social media management and ads. We really want to employ 2 full-time engineers on this, 2 full-time VAs, and we've calculated that 300,000 will get us through the first 12 months, allowing us to become a household name in Australia as well as internationally. And we'd love to trademark the business internationally as well, which we're aware that it is an expensive process, but we're a really vital one because we are the first double-sided platform for the events industry to exist in Australia. So what are we looking for tonight? We do seek advice and guidance on how to raise capital. We do struggle in that area. We really do want to attract investors that are hands-on and that really do want to see a female-led tech founder just take this business to the next level. And we really do need a super connector, someone who really can introduce us to the right people in the right circles so we can really thrive. At this point, I do open up for discussions and questions. And if you have any, please contact us at contact@eliteparties.com.au. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, I'd love to see who wants to be part of something great.
Thank you, Melissa. And congratulations on everything you've achieved for the Elite Parties.
Thank you.
I might jump in first. And Melissa, there's this unrealistic expectation on founders to be great capital raisers, and it is unrealistic because I've been in this game for a good chunk of my life, and it's a tough gig for even for us doing it. And to expect people like yourself to go out and raise money, it is hard. But there are certain things that you've got to have in place for that to happen, and that's a whole conversation in itself, because you don't want to be going out raising money until you're ready for it, and it's about answering all of the questions that will come up, right? So you need to be reasonably bulletproof by the time you go to market to raise money, and you've got to be raising it on the right basis as well. Okay, and using the right instruments, the right time. And so again, this is not, I suppose, an area where you would have expertise, because most entrepreneurs don't. And to really build a business these days, if you want to scale fast, because part of the challenge is not having a competitor in this country, is that if ultimately you want to scale this thing globally, it's what you've got to be concerned about is someone else sitting on the other side of the world looking at what you're doing and say, well, that's a great idea, and they copycat and then they'll roll it out elsewhere around the world. So if it is that you are one of the first to market in what you're doing, then you've got to scale this thing fast. And the only way that you can scale it fast is to use capital. But again, it's about getting it on the right basis. So coming back to, and I've asked this question several times now, because it is a really important question. It's like, what's your end game? Where do you want to be in 5 years on this? Because once you start to really get very specific on that, excuse me, you can start to reverse engineer. And once you reverse engineer, you can then look at all of the different capital stages. Because again, with investors, it's like the clearer you become and the more certain you become, the easier it is to be able to get the money on the terms that you want to provide. All right. So what is the end game you want to achieve on this?
The end game really in the next 5 years, I'd love to be global, because every culture does celebrate events. It's not something that is restricted or anything like that. So we really do, you're right, we really do need to move fast. And if we do come across people that are sort of doing similar things overseas, we really need to be on our, really need to get on top of it. And our technology has to be better than theirs, and our ideas have to be creative and one step ahead of theirs. We understand that, but in the next 5 years, I'd love to be in at least end up in America, obviously, because the sheer volume of people there is incredible. So yeah, we're looking at starting here in Australia, then New Zealand next year. We want to launch, and then into China, India, and then UK. We basically want to keep America last, because we already know that you can run into some issues with people stealing your ideas there and then suing you because they think it's theirs. So
look, that can happen
that's
anywhere.
what we do.
Melissa. Yeah. And sometimes with traction, you've got to go with where the traction is. So I wouldn't put any handbrakes on anything. And if you are thinking globally, I mean, you do need to be looking at each of these regions and potentially breaking the regions down. And given that you are a double-sided marketplace, there might be ways where you can structure where you're selling off regions on something like this. But anyway, that's a whole conversation in itself. But coming back to the 300K that you're saying you're needing at the moment, I mean, what is the application of those funds again?
Yeah, so we would definitely have, we've actually just spoken to a company called Devika in Sydney. They will scale the app to market very quickly. So they basically get what we've already built and improve it tenfold. So that once we do have it out there, it's ready to go for the volume of people that we would expect to come to this platform. So we are about to put together another meeting, so then we can really get in talks of the nitty-gritty of what we need help with to really nut out how to get this platform to scale. So we're excited about that. Yeah, so that's something that came about unexpectedly, but I'm happy that it did. So they are asking for $70,000 to get that to the point that we need it to get to for it to go to market and pretty much adapt it to any country that we want to launch in. So that's a lot of money, we know, but if we can get them on board and get it to where we need it to, then we can pretty much scale quite quickly, because the technology behind it will be able to handle the traffic that'll come.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Melissa, can I, Peter, do you mind if I jump in for a sec?
Yeah.
Melissa, I spent 3 years building a marketplace, and I would love to offer you a couple of sessions offline. I mean, I've got a lot of questions to ask, and I don't want to do that in this forum because it will take time, but B, I'm hearing that you're probably not yet ready to answer those questions.
Yeah.
And so I would love to help steer you in the right direction of actually building this app or building this platform before you spend $70,000.
I would love to
yeah,
have a chat with you. That would be amazing.
There's actually a lot of ways you can do it before you spend that kind of money. So I'd be more than happy to give you a couple of sessions and work through that with you in order to help you get to the next stage.
Thank you so much, and I'll gladly accept those sessions.
My pleasure. And I'm not going to ask the hard questions right now. So I'm going to pass it over to Lindy or back to Peter.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, yes, I think Melissa did a very good job so far. And one thing you're about to ask about the fundraising, I can share from my own experience. When you are ready, you are ready. When you are not, you are not. So literally, when you are ready, it's like a flywheel. And literally, you know, from the time when I started fundraising 6 months ago, and my mentor asked me, Lindy, where are you going to start? Do you have anyone in the pipeline? I said, no one. Okay, I'm just going to start. I'm going to raise it. And anyhow, now 6 months passed, I'm almost there. And, you know, raised the 650K, and I'm going to close this round. And by the end of this month, 800,000. So one thing I learned is you got to be the right person, attract the investment. When the people are not investing in you, that means you are not ready. That's it. When you are ready, people can sense it. People just want to, there are plenty abundance of money on your head. You know, you just need to tap into it and it will flow to you. So
that's amazing. I really love that analogy.
Yeah, there is abundant money on your head. So I offered like $44 for 3 hours, and that's as a government the advisory board package. So if you want it, grab it. Anyone interested, grab it. I will see, and that's something I can offer to the community and support the peace, you know. And this is something I love this community here as well.
Thank you, Lindy. I will definitely grab that with both hands. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you.
Very exciting. And thank you to each of our panelists as well. I'd now like to introduce our next presenter, Saifon. Please join us, Saifon. Okay,
everybody hear me, right? I guess.
Yep.
Okay. When I started my career in hospitality and spa business 14 years ago, I found that 68% of loyal guests at the hotel have more than one guest profile. Our data in all departments are separate into different platforms. It's difficult to find and create more staff workload. And when it comes to marketing and customer loyalty, that is difficult. Hotel and travel industry is strong competition due to high demand. This leads to shortage on hiring the best staff, plus fixed cost of operation, waste, and carbon emission. Hotels are part of commercial buildings that produce 12.3% of Earth's carbon emission. And guess how much it will rise by 2035? 130%. Hotel must reduce the carbon emission 66% by 2030. With all this, I realized that the right technology will help bridge the gap between customer touchpoints and business operation. During COVID-19, I took course at Harvard University in computer science and artificial intelligence at IBM Technology. I found that virtual concierge technology will be the best fit to bridge the gap in hospitality, as it will help create accurate guest data profile. It will help reduce increase the customer satisfaction, reduce cost of operation, reduce staff workload, reduce waste and carbon emission. How this works? We will work with IBM Technology and their partner, following the UN SDG goal, aim to reduce carbon emission by 2030. With our team, that's multicultural and diversity, with the partner in hotel and real estate property. Provide a monthly subscription B2B business model. Our technology will help creates accurate guest data profile that connect the customer touch point 24 hours. The AI recognize the buying pattern and accurate using hotel facility. This will help the hoteler stay up to date with the facility competitor, as well as predicts the right demand that coming in the next season. Our technology also provide IoT device that control air condition, shower, lights, and all electric device. Imagine how this could be effective to reduce the consumption in a building. And if it's not only one building, but 100,000 or more, what impact that could we bring to the industry, to the business owner, to the client, and our environment? In order to create the great impact to the industry, at $3.4 trillion market, we would like you to be part of us as client, partner, referral, or investor. We currently live 550,000 for virtual concierge, 1.5 million for virtual concierge, IoT, digital twin, robotic, and big data. We believe that creativity and innovation with the right perception of sustainability will create a great impact to the industry and our future. My name is Saifon Chitti. I'm the CEO and founder of Majesty AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Saifon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, over to our panel.
Or I'll jump in first. So explain to me where you're at the moment in building this concept.
We are on the idea state at the moment, and we try to promote ourselves to be visible on the investor. And also we try to sign the agreement with the customer for this year, first project to start the technology. And if we can get the funding as well, that will secure us for the long run to come.
Right, and what sort of funding are you looking for?
Currently, we're looking for the virtual concierge as 550,000. This will give us starting the technology and also onboard the team, and we'll be able to do more of the marketing and so on. We expect after we have the technology developed, we will have the partner on board with IBM technology, and this will help us going into the global market. And we're also looking for more partners that could help us distribute into different channels, as well as the referral and partner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're still at the idea stage at this point, and you're pre-revenue.
Yes, I do. We do on the idea stage at the moment. Before we are usually working on the hotel and spa property. With this model, we always invest first in the property, even design it and do everything on board the staff, even the training, and provide the budget ready to be running for over a year. But in this model, we see that technology could sell before we even build or onboard the team. And we expect that we successfully this year to secure one of the project, and they will become our partner also on the hotel and real estate property. So this will give us a start ahead. We see the future of the capital in advance.
Okay, all right, but my only feedback is on a seed round. That's a pretty big seed round, you know, considering pre-revenue. I mean, if you look at Uber as an example, I mean, Uber has raised, I think, about $27.5 billion over its journey. You know how much its first round was?
I'm not sure, maybe 200,000.
$250,000. That was the first round, and then the second was 1.5 million. So it's really important the staging on your funding, and so I'd encourage you to look at where could you get to at 200, 250 in terms of what you're building. All right, because I think I'm giving you advice now, in that I think you'll get some pushback on 550 as your seed. Okay, where you're at the moment. So just stage it, all right, and build out as much as you can before you, in fact, go out to get your seed.
Thank you. Actually, I am also looking on the government fund also, and definitely will not come up to like 550. But yeah, definitely I take that in consider as well. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, along with what Peter was saying, Stefan, I mean, brilliant idea. So what it will come down to is the execution and the time frame of the execution, I think, as well. But there are lots of, or there's the government R&D grant that you might be applicable for, because it is in research and development, and it's carbon emissions or reducing carbon emissions. So there are a lot of grants available at the moment that I think could be specific to what you're trying to achieve as well. And again, in terms of technology, there are, I believe, a number of ways that you could potentially look at building out the AI, or at least getting to your MVP as a workable model before you spend a significant amount on the tech itself. But I think a lot of things like your IP will be the most important thing to protect as well.
Yes, currently we all there is so many area that we look into, and we have somebody look into the legal side. As we work with the IBM, they also have their own legal, and also our technology will also have more than a virtual concept on the first pass. We will also have a more developed coming, so it's a little bit more detailed to look in what we need to be protect and so on. But yes, definitely we are looking for ahead for that at the moment.
Yeah. Great.
Several. How many team members do you have so far?
We have 5, myself on hospitality and AI technology from the IBM and their partner. And we have hotels and real estate property owner, and global sales and marketing, and also digital marketing.
I see. In that case, I highly recommend you consider to apply the Accelerating Commercialization Grant. And in that essence, actually, one of the criteria was to do the fund matching. So then, it's because this is where you are at this moment. It's a pre-revenue and it's a concept stage. And the Accelerating Commercialization Grant actually have that particular area. And so then through the journey, it could take you 3 months, 6 months. And through the journey, and you basically get yourself investment ready and also start to attract the angel investors as well. So personally, I went through the whole process. I highly recommend it. I think it's a good way to shape yourself and make your investment ready.
I think that's advice.
Yes, please go ahead.
No, I think that's great advice. Well done, Lindy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'd now like to introduce our final speaker for tonight, and that is Shauna. Welcome, Shauna. We're excited to hear from you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. So 80% of Australia is unable to afford legal assistance. And I know as a social justice consultant that this creates inequality between those who have to fight for their legal rights with limited pro bono to no assistance compared to those who can afford lawyers. And this is not justice. The solution is JulyBot. JulyBot is an AI ODR and legal research platform. JulyBot facilitates consultations and mediations conducted by lawyers through video conferencing, and JulyBot also provides the lawyers with a bespoke and pinpointed legal analysis based on the client facts and evidence. JulyBot does law in cyberspace enhanced by AI. JulyBot therefore provides efficient, accessible, and affordable legal services that consumers need, and efficient and accurate legal research that lawyers need to fulfill their ethical duties and to service more clients. No competitors in the Australian market can fully automate legal services and provide this value whilst retaining human expert review. JulyBot will be delivered by a a team of data and cybersecurity experts in discrete, agile, and lean delivery phases involving a product and a UX checkpoint. The data involved to build the AI solution involves publicly available and digital legislation and case judgments, as well as encrypted and de-identified client facts, evidence, and precedent letters of advice. This legal data will then be uploaded and stored on the IBM Watson Cloud, an IRAP certified provider obligated to comply with the Australian privacy principles, and that holds the AI APIs to build the combined NLP and ML model. This dev strategy ensures that user value is achieved and that the solution will not fail as a core business function, whilst at the same time reducing the risk of data breaches, development inefficiencies, and therefore commercial risk. Access to Julibot will be based on a subscription model, starting at $500 per month, based on the estimate that Julibot will save legal organizations $500 per client based on an estimated reduction of 10 hours to service a client. With an estimated project budget of $1 million, the estimated break-even point is 2 years with just 100 subscribers. The go-to-market strategy is to capture the civil law market because most consumers settle their cases outside of court, and Julibot can do this because the cloud enables Julibot to service an infinite number of consumers from any location without any further hardware investment. Julibot is highly scalable because Julibot can then be expanded to other practice areas, similar overseas jurisdictions, and other subscribers such as universities. And Julibot can also expand to be a legal research plugin on the Microsoft, Google, or Apple stack. Julibot brings justice to the law through the power of AI. And I'm therefore asking the panel for advice on how to raise the $1 million to build the MVP. Thank you.
Thank you, Shona, and congratulations. Okay, over to our panelists.
Oh, okay, I'll jump in first. I mean, legal tech is not something where we have a huge area of domain expertise in. I mean, we've got expertise in a lot of other areas. But again, my same question back to you is I mean, $1 million in seed is still quite a lot. But it's not to say that you can't raise $1 million. Again, it's about looking at the staging of what you need the funds for and when, and good on you for what you're wanting to achieve there, providing legal resources to those that can't afford it at this point in time, because you're absolutely right, there is an injustice in that area. So look, I suppose when it comes to raising money, I suppose that's somewhere where we can give you some advice about how to, the stages and how to go about doing it. But I'd need to understand a bit more about how you're going to monetize this. So going back to just before, I think how many you said about 100 clients would cover the $1 million. Was that is that what I heard? Yeah.
Yes. So subscriptions will start at $500 per month, based on Julibot estimated to save legal organizations, being law firms and community legal centers, $500 per client, based on an estimated reduction of 10 hours to service a client. So effectively, a reduction in the time taken to service a client allows a legal organization to service more clients and therefore increase their profitability. So at $500, so with an estimated project budget at $500 a month, if we had 100 subscribers, it would take 2 years to break even on the $1 million.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so and you've done a business model on this, obviously?
Yes.
Yeah, and so what sort of cost acquisition have you got on this for your customers?
Sorry, you mean the costs of building Julibot?
No, of getting a customer.
The cost of getting a customer. Yes, so that would be the marketing costs. Yep. And initially I would be looking at a social media marketing strategy.
Yep. Okay. All right. Good.
Shauna, first of all, congratulations where you are at this moment. One thing I want to share with you is your choosing of cost saving and improve the efficiency and effectiveness is definitely the right place in legal space. Because with China legal blockchain, and it saved them literally made them millions of dollars within 1 year, within one court. And this particular Zen technology has then now applied into China 23 different provinces in different court. Okay, so yeah, this is through using the blockchain to verify all the documents and increase the productivity and efficiency of the court. So your concept is to use the technology to improve the lawyers and the law firms. That's great. However, there is one area I would highly recommend you look into. That is what we call the robotic process automation. And that has been widely used in many different aspects and is very leading in different industry. I'm not sure that RPA has been applied in the legal industry or not. However, if you try to raise in this startup world, you need to look at other industry, because otherwise this RPA, if it's widely used in other industry, can easily be implemented by anyone in the legal industry. That's number one. Number two, in the law, legal aspects of the eco startup, you also have law pass, virtual legal, and also I think it's a legal vision and legal kits, and also quite a few already in this area. Have you done your competitor research analysis in this area?
Yes, I'm certainly aware of those competitors, in particularly the ones that you've just named. And my unique value proposition and how I'm different to those competitors is the AI component of my solution, which really makes legal research more efficient and more accurate. And that's what allows the lawyers to service more clients. So that's my difference from the current competitors in the Australian market.
Got it. Okay, that's fine. As long as you have done your market research, knowing what you're strong compared to others, and this is a great space, and to accelerating and to take over the world.
Yeah, and I think just reiterating what Lindy and Peter have both alluded to and mentioned. Firstly, fantastic on a great pitch and a great idea. I certainly love it, and I think a lot of companies for cost savings benefits are always on the lookout to save money, which is brilliant. Again, reiterating what Lindy said in terms of competitors out there, a couple that I know of, a legal tech helper. There's also Joseph. So I'm not 100% sure of those which ones might be using AI. And if they're not using it, I think there would be just a good opportunity at this point that you're at before you spend some money is looking into how difficult would it be for them to actually put on an AI bot of some description in order to then further advance their technology that they already have in place. So yeah, I think it would be helpful from that perspective. And in terms of monetizing, I think, as Lindy also said, fantastic from a money savings perspective. But at the same time, when pitching for investment, particularly at this stage, it would also be, how is it going to make you a lot of money as well, and a return to the investor on top of that. So is the cost savings to the customer enough to warrant or to mitigate the expense of actually building the technology and then the returns that it's going to bring you? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And $1 million for MVP. Again, I would probably want to hone in on what exactly does that MVP look like, and where is that money, what is it exactly going to go towards, and how could we break that down into stages? So it might be that you might be looking at 200K to get to your MVP of just getting a working prototype that doesn't include all the bells and whistles. So it's just your very basic form, and it might be that it's choose one part of the legal, one part of a legal component that you could focus on to get to your MVP. Whether it's, is there a specific type of law that you were focusing on? I may have missed that. You may have mentioned it.
Yeah, so I'm focusing on the civil law market. So jurisdictions like family law and contract breaches and civil law disputes like that, where most people do, settle their disputes outside of court if they can.
Yeah, so which is great, and but that is a massive market in itself. When if we're talking about civil law, but when you break it down into contract disputes or mediation, or my advice would be choose one, start with one, really get the nuts and bolts right for the MVP in that aspect, and then branch out into other aspects of law as well. Because that will help, the more research you can do, the more testing you can do. For everyone listening, a really, really big component of getting investment ready or being investment ready is testing and user data. So the more you can validate the idea, the more you can test it, the more you can go back and reiterate and retest, the more ready you'll be for the likes of $1 million of investment.
I agree totally with what Jackie is saying. Pick one segment, one product that you can get some traction on, then do another, and then another and another. Because one of the challenges, again, is if you were to raise $1 million, you'll be diluted right down, and you start to lose creative control on what you want to do, and it's too early for that to happen. So get some traction in one space, and then that gives you greater value to your argument to then do another, and then do another, and do another. So pick one, get some goals.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Shona, and thank you to our panel. Such incredible advice that everyone's receiving tonight. It's incredible. Okay, well, that concludes our pitches. So now I would like to invite our panelists to go to a breakout room. I'm going to open that breakout room shortly, and you'll have 10 minutes to have a discussion and select our winners. So I'm just going to set that up right now. Okay, you should have received an invitation, and we'll call you back in 10 minutes. Just press the join breakout room. Okay. So while they're doing that, I'd just like to acknowledge our prize sponsors. We have some incredible prizes that the winners will share in tonight. So some of our sponsors include Caroline Kennedy, who's going to be donating $2,000 worth of mentoring. Rachel Ferguson, who is also offering mentoring, $2,000 worth of mentoring. Synthesis Organics from Theme Rains. She's providing a prize pack of organic products. Candice Meisels of Candice Meisels PR is also providing PR packages for our winners. And the Women's Business School is providing a scholarship for a 6-month accelerator program for 2022 to our winner. So thank you so much to all of our prize sponsors and also our partners, Shepreneur Ventures and Freethen Technology. All right, I'd now like to invite to the stage Iman Solomon from Women in Tech Australia. Hello, Iman, welcome.
Hi, Peace. How are you? Hello, everyone. Just wanted to say very, very impressive. Well done, everyone. Each idea is a brilliant one of its own, and I can see the great potential for every one of you. And you all did well today, so you're all winners. And coming to this stage is is a win for each one of you. So well done and congratulations for being here today. This is our first speech tonight, and hopefully you'll have more to come, and absolutely proud for each one of you. And today I really feel that we are celebrating women entrepreneurs, and you put a huge energy, beautiful energy to the whole entire day. So well done, congratulations. I'm so proud to be, with the Women in Tech teams. I'm the Social Inclusion Ambassador, so I work on obviously gender equality, closing the gender gap for girls and women, particularly in STEM fields. So I'm passionate about that. So yeah, you all did well, and you all proved to us today that we did the right choice by selecting all of you as finalists. So it was a great team effort for all the ambassadors from Women in Tech Australia to select the finalists. But honestly, you have not disappointed us at all. We are incredibly proud, and also it's credit to the team that we did the right decision. So well done. I just wanted to present some apologies from Fiona. She's our secretary, and Belinda Agnew. She's our brand ambassador, and our digital media ambassador, Maria. They all cannot make it today. They had other events, but they wish you all the best, and I'm sure we share this amazing, things with them. So, Peace, do you have the presentation ready? So we can.
I thought that you were bringing the presentation on, so I don't have it ready.
Yeah, I can bring it up. Yeah, just one second. Give me a second.
So Art has a presentation about women in tech that she'd just like to share with us.
So do I have can I have the sharing? Can I share the screen? Yep, sorry. Can you just, yeah. There we go. Now, I think Peace already acknowledged the acknowledgement of the country. As we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodian of this land and pay my respect to the elders past and present around Australia. So welcome to Women in Tech Australia. We came on board together with Peace Mitchell on May. That's why we put the date of May 2021. Welcome to the Peach Night tonight. So Women in Tech is a part of the global movement, the Women in Tech International Organization. It's a not-for-profit organization, and it's one of the largest women in technology organizations around the world. It's focused on 4 primary areas that are the call of actions for education, entrepreneurship, social inclusion, science and innovations. And we aim to educate, equip and empower women and girls for the necessary skills and confidence to succeed in STEM career fields and digital technologies. So about us, so we are part of the global movement, as I mentioned. So the Australian chapter is recently was established, and the work in 2019, but the majority of the work took place really when we all came together as a team under Peace Mitchell as the president, and the Peace is the actual the chapter ambassador, and also underneath Peace is few different ambassadors. So the main focus with the Women in Tech is we focus on delivering on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and these goals are quite critical. So we're delivering on 5 goals of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, and if you're not aware of it, so basically the I think Belinda's trying to come in, please, if you can let her in. So in 2015, in September 2015, the United Nations had the meeting, and they agreed to actually develop the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals and to reach these goals by 2030. So we are working towards the 2030. So one of our main goals we focus on goal 5, which is quality education. Goal 4, quality education. Goal 5, gender equality. And that's our main focus goals. However, we contribute on and also gender equality, closing the gender gap for girls in STEM field, the goal 10, which is reducing inequalities, and offering decent work and economic growth. So obviously by empowering women and give them high quality education, we'll be able to close the gender gap for girls and women in STEM fields. And that will open a lot of opportunity for decent work and economic growth and reduce inequalities and hopefully closing the gap for them. So this is our main, our core goals, focus goals, also contribute to secondary goals. Obviously, once we empower women around the world with education, with opportunity to work, when we increase the economic, growth and prosperities in these countries, we will actually contribute indirectly to no poverty. When we work together around the world to actually create such a platform to empower women, we actually we will build, social network, and we will be able to actually work together in partnership. And when we do that, we'll achieve social cohesion, cultural integration, and that will lead to peace and justice and strong institutions. Obviously, we need partnership for these goals, so that's automatically any organization actually apply and deliver on goal 17, which is achieving the partnership for the goals. So why do we exist? So obviously we're trying to support women and close the gender gap for women and girls in STEM in particular field. Obviously 1 in 5 women working in the industry today. However, like a lot of countries still falling behind with the gender gap. So 85% of jobs require STEM skills. Without these skills, that we cannot have a future. Research told us that women and girls do actually better when it comes to STEM and digital technologies than boys. However, it was a confident issue that why women will not actually participate in STEM fields. So we're trying to change this around, and we can see that there is, our network is growing rapidly, and a lot of women, we're able to come together to support women in technology in Australia and delivering on these goals, to ensure education is for all women and to offer opportunities, particularly for women who's starting their own business and in the STEM fields. So this is actually the impact of some of the examples that the global organizations did. We currently have the global mentoring program as well. So with the global mentoring initiative, you actually will be able to access all the participants in today's event. We'll be able to actually access free mentoring program for 3 months, and we match you with the right mentor from in the fields that you are related to. So please make sure that you go on our Facebook page and you find the link and sign up for the new global mentoring program. Our target is social inclusion, businesses, education, and advocacy. The global movement is on a mission to actually empower 5 million women and girls by 2030. This is our team. So Peace Mitchell is the chapter ambassador, and Belinda Agnew is the brand ambassador. So Peace Mitchell, you probably know her all. She's the co-founder of the Women Business Schools and the Osmompreneur Award. She's an investor, TEDx speaker, and Women Entrepreneurship Day ambassador. Peace also is an author of the Back Yourself Forbes business expert. Belinda Agnew is our brand ambassador. She's also the managing partner of InMuse and the founder of Focus Group, the advisor of a few other tech startups in fintech and prop tech and SaaS. My name is Iman Solomon. I'm the Social Inclusion Ambassador, and I'm the founder and CEO of EduTech Australia. I work in digital education, supporting schools from kindergarten to year 12. Also the chairwoman of the Education for All not-for-profit organisation. And on a national level, I'm a national state jet ski champion for the jet ski sport. Also a part of our team, Maria Delmaris. Maria is the Digital Media Ambassador. She's the creative director at Trio Consulting Group, and she works the magic with all behind our, future digital media. She just started up with us. Unfortunately, Justine, she was a part of our team, and we acknowledge all the amazing work that she did with our group. She's the Communication and Partnership Ambassador, and she also the Commercial and Enterprise Business Development representative at APAC. So we also have Fiona Signo. She is from Kaya Services, and Fiona is our secretary, and also she'll be a future ambassador as well with the Women in Tech Australia. There is an opportunity for you to join our team at the Women in Tech Australia. I'd love to use your expertise. If you are interested, just send us an email. This is our global team. So Ayumi Moore is the founder and president of the Women in Tech Global Organization. So we are a part of that big huge organization, and that's the rest of the board for the global team. We work closely with them almost on a weekly basis, and we share a lot of innovative ideas, a lot of projects and initiatives that aims to support women entrepreneurs, women in business, girls in education, and empowering women and girls, even saving them from war zone like what happened in Afghanistan. So that's some of the work that we're doing. I'm passionate about supporting a lot of women in Australia, and I'm proud to work with our team with the Women in Tech. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? Please, we cannot hear you.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry. My computer's been playing up. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, thank you so much, Iman, for giving us such a beautiful overview of Women in Tech and the incredible work that this organisation does. I'm so proud to be the Australian ambassador. So one of the things you spoke about was the partnerships for the goals, and that's something that we are very proud of, the work that we do at Women in Tech. And one of our incredible partners tonight is the Women's Entrepreneurship Day organisation. I'm also the Queensland ambassador for Women's Entrepreneurship Day, and today we have the Australian ambassador with us. So I'd now like to introduce Theme Rains. Please join us, Theme. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, Peace. It's absolutely wonderful to be here, and happy Women's Entrepreneurship Day, everybody. We've had a great day that started at 9 a.m. this morning with a full day summit of talks and awards, and just an inspiring conversation. And that's what Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization is all about. It's about making sure that we keep the conversation alive around the importance of women's entrepreneurship, that we create empowering networks, and celebrate this very important group of people that we all are. And to introduce the organization, I've actually got a recording that the founder of Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization, Wendy Diamond, recorded especially for today for us here in Australia and New Zealand. So I'll share my screen now so that I can play that for you. Now, let me just...
Well, Annette is still sleeping. Chanel is inside. I knocked, but no answer. But
can you see that now? Yep. Wendy Diamond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Wendy Diamond, founder of Women's Entrepreneurship Day organization, and I'm thrilled to be sharing WEDO 2021 with you. This is an empowering movement for women across the globe who are leading the way to a whole new world. I would love to recognize one very special woman. Our Oceania Regional Ambassador Theme reigns for her incredible and tireless work to amplify, inspire, and empower women in your region. And she is the most amazing soul, and all of our incredible ambassadors in Australia and New Zealand. I founded Women's Entrepreneurship Day in 2013 after volunteering for the Adelante Foundation in Honduras, which provides microloans to impoverished women. I learned that when microloans are offered to women, not only do women find the means to work and support themselves and their families, their work bolsters the local economies. What's more, women to take upon themselves to pay back these loans at a 98% rate, almost 100%. Women worldwide have historically been underpaid, undervalued, underrepresented, underfunded, and underestimated, and we still are. WEDO is here to change that. My vision for WEDO was to create a simplified movement, a ground-up approach to uplift the 4 billion women on the planet to create better futures for themselves and ultimately achieve gender equality. We are celebrating our 8th anniversary. I'm proud to say the WEDO movement is stronger than ever, with an incredible army of over 300 global ambassadors with over 250,000 members leading and celebrating Women's Entrepreneurship Day and championing WEDO movement in 144 countries. We are empowering women and girls to take an active role in the economy and igniting a network of women leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs to launch startups, drive economic expansion, and strengthen communities around the world. Our mission is to catalyze positive social change and economic growth from the ground up, especially for the 2.5 billion people unbanked that are mostly impoverished women, and to celebrate, empower, and support women entrepreneurs. With the continuing economic downturn due to the COVID-19, women and minorities have been the hardest hit sectors of our global economy. The devastating impact of the pandemic on women-owned businesses threatens to reverse decades of economic gains achieved by these very women. An alarming report by Oxfam International shows us that in 2020 alone, women around the world lost more than 64 million jobs, the equivalent of 5% of the total jobs held by women globally. In addition, this loss of jobs due to the pandemic cost women around the world at least $800 billion in earnings, a figure that is more than the combined GDP of 98 countries. Investing in women has never been a higher priority or more critical. Yet, women continue to defy the odds in the face of the pandemic. We are an undeniable, unstoppable force. I am here today to remind you to never forget that. We have always known that the future is female. WEDO, women entrepreneurs, do make a difference. Our foundation, with our partnership with Opportunity International, we are proud to be funding 1,000 impoverished women with microloans to start their entrepreneurial journey, providing these women with a hand up, not a hand out. We are also happy to announce that we have an initiative to fund 100,000 women in Afghanistan with crypto. We are going to be creating a unique peer-to-peer ecosystem through direct access with cryptocurrency. We are providing the funding for these women who suddenly found themselves thrust into crisis after the rapid fall of the government to become more self-sufficient and to provide food for their families. This year, we are so excited that we initiated and funded the launch of the very first women's disability startup cohort in partnership with Together International. We are literally providing funding through this partnership with our WEDO network of supporters, including the most amazing Lorene Arbus. This inspiration actually happened last year during Women's Entrepreneurship Day when we interviewed Judy Heumann, the human rights pioneer. She inspired me to think of this amazing idea, and we're so happy that this launched this last year during the anniversary of the American Disabilities Act. And we are super excited that Google for Startups has committed to funding the continued growth of this program. Woohoo! To support women with disabilities to become the best entrepreneurs they can be. I believe there are 5 keys to a woman becoming a successful entrepreneur. You need to have passion. You must absolutely love what you're doing and put your whole heart and soul into your goal. Persistence. You must never, ever give up. You will hear a million no's. However, it just takes one yes to change your life forever. Perseverance. An entrepreneur's journey can be super rough. Remember that you have the power within you to overcome any obstacle or any challenge. And purpose. Find your why, something bigger than you that fills you with passion and purpose. Far more important than financial success is your ability to make a positive imprint on this world. And lots of puppy love, whether it's with a human or a dog. You need to find a person that's going to give you unconditional loyalty, unconditional love, and a lasting bond, because being an entrepreneur is rough. You need someone in your corner, always there for you, supporting you. And I want to share my deepest thanks from everyone a part of WEDO, and including our partners, NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center, AWS, UBS, and Ninja Hideout for joining the WEDO mission to support, empower, and uplift women around the world in business. Thank you to each and every one of you for making a difference in the world and joining us. And especially the incredible ambassadors that are part of our movement that are donating their time to make this dream a reality. We do. Women entrepreneurs do make a difference. Never forget that. In actuality, Women's Entrepreneurship Day is not just today, but every day, 365 days a year. So support, empower, and celebrate women in business every day. Together, we will change the world to become a better place for all. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that theme. So inspiring.
Isn't that great? How do I, sorry, unshare it? Or you can do that from your end.
Click stop sharing.
Click stop sharing. Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Theme. And thank you to our WEDO ambassadors who are also here from, we have Caroline Kennedy, Rachel Ferguson, and is Candice here as well? Candice Meisels. So thank you for being here. And Belinda Agnew, our Women in Tech, another of our Women in Tech ambassadors, is here as well. But I think it's time to get things going now. Our investor panel are back and they are ready to make an announcement. The moment you have all been waiting for is here. So we'd love to start by hearing who you selected in 3rd place.
Okay, so we have a lot of discussions and heated and the debate, acknowledgement, what has been doing very great. First thing, we want to congratulate every single participant, and you guys did an amazing job, all right? And to be where you are, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of, hard and the work and commitment, and to make where you are today. So it is a really hard decision for us to debate who will be what. However, after we discussed the strengths, the weakness on different projects, we unanimously come to the conclusion and choose the 3 entrepreneurs. However, nevertheless, who is not on our list, you are fabulous, okay? It's still great, and you just need to acknowledge yourself for that. And we just choose down tonight, limited information we have, and we have chosen the 3 following entrepreneurs. So, by the way, please, what do they get for 1, 2, 3?
So we have a number of prizes. Our sponsors include Caroline Kennedy, who's providing mentoring, Rachel Ferguson, who is also providing mentoring. They'll win $3,000 in cash from Women in Tech Australia. They'll also receive a prize pack from Synthesis Organics, as well as a PR pack from Candice Meisels PR. And the other prize they get is 6 months in the Women's Business School Accelerator Program for 2022. So incredible prize pool there.
Wow.
Very exciting.
I want to win.
I know, it's incredible.
Wonderful, wonderful, fabulous. So in that case, drums on, the third place for tonight is Casey Hubbell.
Congratulations, Kathy. That's wonderful.
Hi, thank you.
I'm like, I want to hear the noise.
Where are you, Casey? Do I see you?
I'm here.
Where?
There she is.
Yep, I'm here.
Congratulations, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you to all the judges.
Yay. The second place is Fiona.
Woohoo!
Great, Fiona.
Yay. Congratulations, Fiona.
Are you there?
Fiona.
She is here. Fiona?
Fiona.
There she is. Yay, second place, Fiona. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Fiona. You are on the second place. All right. So, everyone, put your video on. Let's congratulate. The first place is our wonderful Gertrude.
Yay, congratulations.
So, please, do you want Gertrude to give a little bit speech about how she feels of winning this tonight award?
Yes, please come forward and give your acceptance speech, Gertrude.
I don't have words. Thank you all so much for this amazing gift. I've been working for 2 years, funding this on my own with a lot of challenges and so many women relying on me. And this is an acknowledgement that it has been so worthwhile. So, my heart is full. Thank you.
Thank
you all so much.
Great.
Yeah.
Well
Three of
done.
the judges unanimously, want to acknowledge you and feel you and connect with you. We're all very impressed with, how you present yourself, how you present to the judges, how you present the pitch. And we just want to say, well done. It's an amazing job. And, we all feel your passion, your commitment to this work, to the women, and well done. Thank you.
And you're making me cry too, and I think all of us cry actually. But just a big thank you to all of you amazing and inspiring women, because you make our work and our jobs so rewarding. And the acceptance that Gertrude has just given is just, it really does. You all inspire me every single day, and I'm really grateful to be able to do what I do. So thank you.
Yeah. Look, I agree. You're all winners, and it was difficult to pick out who were the winners, because in the end, I mean, as I said earlier, being an entrepreneur is a really tough game. Okay, and it's one where you're continually getting knockbacks and challenges, and I have to I respect and honor each and one of you for choosing to be entrepreneurs and to go out there and be brave and to champion your ideas. And personally, I just want to wish you all the best with it. And Jackie and I were having a chat just before, because we want to support everybody, to be able to realise your dreams. And we just tossed around an idea before. So Jackie, do you want to share it?
Yeah, we would love, Shepreneur and Zash Ventures would love to offer the whole cohort an investment ready session. So how to become investment ready. So I'll have a chat to Peace, and we can tee something up, and we'd love to just be able to support in a small, it's a small gesture, but it's a gesture of support to be able to say you're all doing a great job, and we'd love to help where we can.
Absolutely. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, I
Thank you
also
so much.
offered to 5 lucky people who want to have a chat with me. and discuss whatever you want to discuss. And for $44 for 3 hours of my time. So
I'll take it.
Yes, you take it.
Oh my gosh, what a wonderful night we've had.
Peace, you can do that too. You know, I will do that for you. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, Lindy.
Help you on the journey of digitization and also investment readiness or blockchain related, whatever. So, you know, in that, it's my contribution back to the community. However, I'm a startup founder too. So that's why I limited to only 5 people. So.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Peter and Jackie. I love that idea. Let's plan that for in the new year, and I'll be in touch with all of our founders and we'll get together and have a session with you both. It's a really great idea and a great way to start 2022, getting everybody ready. Well, thank you so much to all of our investors. Thank you so much to our presenters tonight. You've all been incredible, and we've just all been inspired by the work that you're doing. So please keep going, keep following your dreams, and please reach out to us for help if there's anything we can do to help you. We would love to encourage you all to become part of Women in Tech Australia, as well as be part of the Women's Entrepreneurship Day organisation. So we'd love to keep following you on your journey and supporting you on your journey. Thank you so much to all of you for being here. Thank you to everybody who joined us live and everyone who's watching on the recording. It's been wonderful having all of you celebrating with us tonight as well. And finally, a big thank you to our prize partners and sponsors. It's so lovely what you have provided for our winners. Gertrude, you get to be part of the Women's Business School in 2022, which I'm so excited about. You also received mentoring, PR package, and a beautiful hamper from Synthesis Organics. So it's wonderful. I'm excited. Thank you, everyone. And let's all keep in touch and keep supporting women entrepreneurs and women in tech. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Congratulations.
Thank you for
Thank
creating
you,
this
everybody.
amazing opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the winners. Good night and well done. Have a great day. And
Thank
just remember, be the change you want to see in the world. So
yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.